Welcome to I'd Play That for $1, the internet's premier budget gaming podcast, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. I am your host, as always, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week is the magic duo of Bald Beauty, Todd Oxtra, and Chris
Hello.
John.
Hi.
And every week we bring you rapid fire roundtable reviews of games that we got our grubby little mitts on for $1 or less, and let you know if we'd play that for $1 or if we just want our nickel back. So let's dive in this week. And Chris, since you won Employee of the Month for the month, you get to go first.
Yay. I think I'm going to lose that Employee of the Month.
No. You ready to hurt Larry's heart?
So, Stubbs the Zombie, Rebel Without a Pulse. I got this game for free on Amazon Games. And I was super excited to play this game because I've heard very good things about it. So I fired it up. Oh, and I think
I lost your audio.
Oh, can you hear me?
There you are.
I think it's $20 on Steam. And I like I said, I heard this game is really good. Like the idea of the reversal, like you're playing the villain in this, kind of like the what's that game? Demon Dungeon, like where you're Dungeon Keeper.
Okay.
In that style of like you're flipping the roles. Not that it's a strategy game or anything, but yeah, like there's a humor of it where there's the, I guess it's 60s style or not 60s, 50s, early 50s, 40s, whatever style.
Okay.
But in the future, and then there's so this is like multiplayer. I don't know how that works in this game, but I just played it, and I'll be honest, I couldn't even get past the tutorial because the game like just wouldn't get me to the next part. Like I was just frozen.
Weird.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was just something I corrupted my game save, so I might have to try it again. But I mean, from that impression itself, I was like, I don't know if I want to play this game anymore because I couldn't get past that tutorial. But like I said, I mean, you've played this game, Larry?
It's been ages, but yes, played it way back when on the original Xbox, and It was a ton of fun. The humor was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I had a great time with Stubbs the Zombie ages ago.
Now,
so when I saw that pop up, I got really excited.
Is there like some sort of almost like not strategy, but like you're like almost like squad based mechanics where you're like telling your other zombies to go places or like bring them towards you?
I thought that was the end point, right? Like you actually like control other zombies, right?
I think so.
It's been a long time.
I got to that point where I could control zombies, but then after that, like the game just broke. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get past the next part of the tutorial. So I was it was disappointing in that sense.
Aw, that's sad face.
Yeah.
It's by one of the makers of Halo, like one of the original developers made that game.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Well, I don't know if they did the port.
Spire did the port. Yeah, it was. I can't remember who the original like team was that created the game, but yeah, it was one of the original creators of Halo.
That's right. Yeah, that's all coming back to me. Yeah. So
this feels like it just fell apart in the porting process. Apparently,
that's probably what happened.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but it was. Fortunately, this port wasn't great. Maybe I'll give it a shot later, but
yeah, that's tough when the technical difficulties kind of get in the way because it's like it's like I don't even want to play that game. It frustrated me so much I couldn't get to it.
Yeah,
right. I think that's the first time we've ever really had that come up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
A broken game, or like you can play it. I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll try it again. But
I wonder that. I was gonna say, part of me is curious if you were able to get your hands on it elsewhere, like in a not broken format to play it at least and see what you think. I'd be curious to see what you actually think getting to play it.
Mm-hmm. Is that available?
So, I think you can get it on Xbox since it was an Xbox One title or an Xbox original title.
There's a
So
collector's edition where you can
Pass,
get like a zombie head, like a physical zombie head, if you would like that, Chris.
Who doesn't want a physical zombie head?
Yeah. Really.
For extra effect, you should stick some rotting meat on the inside of it for the smell. Make it extra realistic. So, but in this particular instance, though, what's the verdict? Play for $1 or Nickelback?
That's a tough one because like because I've heard so many good things about it, I want to go back and play it. But like if I go back and play it and I still have the same problem, then yeah, I'd probably want to get mine back. So it's like it's teetering on. Like I want to play it, but I would play it for $1, but like only if the technical stuff is actually working. Like maybe actually if I can play the game, sure.
Right.
You know.
So a delayed verdict until you can actually play the game.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's a new one for us, but we'll roll with it because why the hell not? So, all right, Todd, what you got this week?
So I picked a game that I had seen, and I'm like, I was always curious about this game because I'm like, what the heck is this game with this kid, very badly drawn, like box art? You know, what is this thing? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in. I'll give it a try. So I played The Adventures of Chris. This came to me from Amazon Prime Games. You're seeing like the thread here. Amazon gives a lot of games for free. So get them when they're available. Even if you don't own a PC, you might in the future. So just get them while they're free. It's by Ewan. Yeah, absolutely. Even once in a while, Steam will do that. I mean, you don't have to own it. You can just do these things. Just set up an account. And they'll be there when you eventually want to install them and play them. So this is by Ewan Entertainment. And basically, I would call this game a poorly drawn Mega Man.
I am instantly attracted to this now.
Yes, the art style is not likable. I mean, I felt like, ooh, this is because when I looked at the art style, I'm like, I'm just not. I like the visuals in games. It's a visual medium. When people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's all about gameplay, I'm like, if something looks like trash, I'm not drawn to it. That's the visual appeal. I've got to look at it first to see if I even want to play it. So, and then knowing if I'm actually enjoy playing it means I actually have to play it. I don't like when people say, watch a walkthrough. I'm like, well, that doesn't tell me if it feels right. I've got to play it to feel right. So, you know what? I'm going to go in and try this game. Essentially, it is about this kid named Chris. It actually takes place in 1995, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They tell you that. I'm like, okay, there we are. We're in Alabama. I'm not sure many games that were actually set in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. But you ended up getting, basically, you walk into some kids in the forest. You see they're all tied up in this jail. And all of a sudden, like, Kid Dracula shows up, transforms the kids that are captured into these like weird like objects, and then he's like 18 or maybe 12. I don't know what age he is. Can't tell. He basically absconds them and absconds you, but turns you into a balloon. It's very weird. It goes from there, and then it eventually turns into.
Seems like it.
Yeah. So, but it takes a turn because it actually becomes fun to play. Like you use the balloon mechanic because they actually end up going to Balloon-topia or whatever you want to call it, the city in the sky with balloons that you can talk to, and you've got to help the king save the world from Kid Dracula. You can then go on the world map, use your abilities, which is floating and jumping. You get more abilities as you go on. You basically then have to take down the certain bosses, which look like Power Rangers villains, to be honest. They're very weird. One's a smog monster. One's like what's the other one that I beat? There's a bunch of odd ones. And you get their powers or you get abilities from that. So and you've got to save all these kids. It's not written great. There's this thing about the kid that the protagonist Chris is overweight, and they keep bringing it up, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem very nice these days. They didn't have to do that, so it's kind of
2022.
I know, and like this kid is like the nicest kid in the world. He doesn't like make it piss him off. He just wants to do a good job. He wants people to like him, and like even balloons are mocking him, which I think is the weirdest. Like what? So this game is such a mixed bag. But once again, like a game I played a couple weeks ago, I couldn't stop playing. And it's like, I don't know why. And like, it's not exactly the best gameplay in the world. The art style, like I said, I didn't love, but it was like, what's next? What is going to happen next in this damn game? Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what to say about the adventures, Chris, but it is, you get special moves. You can buy power-ups. You can do all these things. Yeah, there's creepy clowns. There's weird things going on in this game. There's like a mechanic where there's side scrolling at points where, I mean, the game is completely side scrolling. But there's like mechanics where you're going through things like you're on a train and you're jumping across the train, and they have that mechanic too. So sometimes you use your balloon skills and you fly away like you're a balloon. So it takes some skill. I will give them that. It takes some skill. And I beat a couple of the bosses, but man, yeah, it's a tough package to love.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how many drugs were involved in making this game?
Oh, probably a good 6 or 7. Because you do get high in this game because you float, because you're full of helium. So you do get high. Ding, zing, that joke.
I'm looking at this art style, and this is not as totally like weird out there as I thought it was going to be.
No.
I mean, I think to your point, it's like probably drawn like a 90s animated cartoon.
Or like a bad, like, independent comic. Like, it's like, you can see that they can draw, but something just ain't right, or just doesn't look up to par. And yeah.
So I'm looking at some of the screenshots here on the eShop for this, and one of them immediately just made my heart go pitter patter, actually, because the inventory ability screen is a direct callback to Super Metroid.
It's Metroid. Yeah, it's your body. Yeah. 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 Larry, maybe in the future I'll just pick the games for you.
That might work here. Oh, there's a demo for this too.
Yeah, give it a try. You might like it. Like I said, I think the game tries hard. The game tries hard to get you in, but there's just enough things that'll be like, maybe a sequel would fix a lot of things, but this game, it's like,
Sequel or a patch 6 months later, maybe.
Needs a fresh coat of paint, especially with what games are doing with their animated, like hand-drawn styles, like the Company Men that I played last week.
Yeah,
that game is just it's sharp, looks good animation. This looks like he hired his buddy to draw the characters.
I'm not horribly offended by it, at least what I'm seeing, but part of me wonders too if that changes as soon as I see it in motion as opposed to in stills.
You know what it is, Larry? I just realized this. You know those CDI Zelda games? It has that.
Yeah.
It has that art style.
Nah, this can't possibly be that bad from what I'm seeing.
It looks, I mean, at least the main character kind of like reminds me of
that. Yeah. Sorry, Chris. It's your namesake game.
Fine.
This feels like it definitely has the making of a Pixar movie somewhere, though.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this character going like big, round, floaty. I'm like, yeah, no, that's good to work with.
Yeah, the Rogues Gallery of Villains is kind of wonky too. So yeah. There's like an animated intro too, if you like it. It kind of does look like just watch the intro, see if you like it. Yeah,
I will. At bare minimum, this is one where I know I'm gonna peep the demo just to get a feel for this. So it's at least caught my interest. But that said, what's your final verdict?
Well, take me out, Nickelback. Oh no. So I would not play this for $1.
Aw, sad face. All right.
You want my Nickelback lyric?
Yep. What you got? How bad is it?
Well, it's midnight, damn right. We're bound up too tight. I've got a fistful of whiskey. The bottle just bit me. Oh, the shit makes me back shit crazy. We've got no fear, no doubt. All in, balls out.
Balls out
Yep.
for this one?
Yep.
I
they
feel like
wrote
that might have
kids.
been the development motto for this game is,
Yep.
no
Going
fear,
in.
all in, balls out.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, we got one left in the chamber for this week, and it is Skull Rogue. And as awesome as that title sounds, boy, howdy, let me tell you about Skull Rogue.
Larry, no. What is going on?
All right, you want the explanation? Because I'll give you the explanation. The explanation is as follows. I will periodically go onto my Switch, hit the eShop, activate a couple of filters, and I will just raid the eShop of games that are like $1 or less. It's a totally random pull. And sometimes I get a gem out of there, and sometimes I get Echo or Postal Redux or well, let's talk about Skull Rogue. So boy howdy, this one is right from the jump the best looking like visual asset in the game is the icon on the Switch home screen. It's all downhill from here, boys and girls.
Is that the modern day equivalent? You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if you judged it by the icon, it could have some charming low res potential, but this is not that. This is that visually it reminisces of late 80s, early 90s 4-bit PC visuals, except a little more colorized. And gameplay, this is like Mom, can we get Binding of Isaac? We have Binding of Isaac at home. The Binding of Isaac you have at home is not just store brand Binding of Isaac, it's Aldi's store brand Binding of Isaac. It's like Family Dollar store brand Binding of Isaac, and it's
It's like Transmorphers.
Yeah, that's a callback. Whew. So I was immediately put on the spot with the fuck is happening here, because Binding of Isaac, you can run around and you can shoot in all directions, and it's all well and good. But Skull Rogue has you playing this adorable little, 4-bit pixel skull or skeleton wandering around your randomized roguelike dungeons with a little sword or a stick or whatever the hell it is, and you're whacking at stuff, but then suddenly something comes up from behind you, and everything in your brain tells you I should just be able to move my stick the other way and hit it, but you can't. You can only hit stuff in the left or right directions, but you have to hit an extra button to make your character face the other fucking way before you can attack something in that direction.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's almost like tank controls, but in 2D or something like that.
That's actually not terribly inaccurate.
It's weird.
I wouldn't have thought of it that way, but yeah, you're not far off the mark here. It's so gross. And I felt scuzzy afterwards playing this for way too long, because honestly, if you've managed to get to the title screen of this game, you've already played it for longer than you should have. Like, download it just to look at the pretty artwork on the home screen icon. Don't ever. This is This game is like Excel on Windows. Nothing good ever happens in Excel. Like if you ever accidentally click it, you just start going, "Oh God, make it stop!"
Is it like when you go to that bad website that you can't then close the browser window on?
Yeah, a little bit. At least this one, you know you can get out of it. The home button is right there to save your ass. But no, this one hurt.
Sorry.
This wasn't even the fun kind of what the hell just happened to me hurt from like Infinity. This is just ow. Oh, like show me on the controller where the bad game hurt you.
Everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
At least it didn't charge you for the experience.
I think it would have.
Unless Larry, unless you're lying about the fact that you actually spent.
I got a receipt for you.
$20.
I have receipts.
Can you return it? Can you return it?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
I have only twice ever managed to get a refund on a digital download for a game on my Switch. And both of them actually came long after I had downloaded the game and played it. And I'll give you a quick story time, and then we'll close this bad boy out. But the two games, and it was the same thing that happened with both, was Lumines and Gris. And I had downloaded Lumines and I downloaded Gris, and then later down the line, I got actual like physical cartridges for them. I popped them in and I was playing happily. And one day I'm like, I don't want to fish out the cartridge. I just want to boot up my file. So, I popped it open because I'm like, I've got the digital of this from before there was a physical, and it wouldn't open. It would get itself stuck in a loop that said the game needed an update, and you'd click it to update, and then it would just loop back around, and it would get stuck in that cycle, and you couldn't open the game. You could totally delete the thing off your Switch and then re-download it. It would still keep doing the same thing. And so I called Nintendo, and it took a little finagling, but I did get them to refund me on my digital purchases of those games because the digital versions were 100% broken now that I had physical versions, apparently. So there's a totally weird, bizarre thing. And I've never seen anybody else talk about it on online anywhere that has happened to them, which I'm a little surprised. I've never heard about this coming up in any of the various like physical collector communities that I'm in either. So, but totally weird, but it's quantifiable. It's happened to me at least twice. So, and Nintendo couldn't fix it either. So they're like, well, I guess we'll give you your money back. Sorry. So there you go. There's weird story time about broken games. But Todd, I need you to give me the nickel back.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, here we go, Larry. Oh my goodness. From the song, "If Today Was Your Last Day," my best friend gave me the best advice. He said, "Each day's a gift and not given right. Leave no stone unturned, leave your fears behind, and try to take the path less traveled. By that first step you take is the longest stride."
Well,
what if?
In this case, Skull Rogue is the path less traveled, and you should not take it.
Yeah. With only so many hours
so
of game, and you could wish you could get that back.
Yeah.
I really do. So, but sadly I cannot. But the good news is we've reached the end of this week's gaming affair, and sadly this was not one of the better weeks for us as a group. We were a whole 0-3. Well, no, we were 2.5-3.
That's true. A failed game, a broken game, and 2 failed games.
We
this
stopped
episode
short
represents
of 3
the
fails.
gif of Bart says, "At least you tried."
At least I tried.
And cake goes in the garbage.
Well, before this gets any more out of hand and goes any further down this deep, dark well we will never be able to get out of, I want to say thank you to my friends Todd and Chris for coming and hanging out with me this week and talking about terrible and broken games this time. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and suffered through this. But at the very least, at the end of all this, we have hopefully helped you avoid a couple of detrimental purchases and made your lives a little bit better, help you dodge a bullet or two along the way. And we'll be back next week with I'd Play That for $1 here on the World 1-1 Podcast Network. Press start to engage your mind. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.